Well, let me go live. Oh, now it will. I guess it was delayed. Whatever. Fuck off. Okay. Hey, would you check and see if the Rumble stream is working? Hey, if you're making a clip of this, cut this part out. That'd be great. Thank you. All right, that's too urban for me. I'm gonna change that and make it just like country music, just like some nice George Strait. I don't know. The first thing I noticed is I had a Twitter notification just before we went live, and it was from Stu Peters. Don't know who that is, and it said he was talking about like who's sabotaging all this American infrastructure, with the trains and the metal manufacturing plant blowing up in Billyburg or something like that. And like the thing is, like when you're pushing these conspiracies, you're neglecting to think about the elephant in the room, and that is maybe it's not a Chinese or CIA conspiracy. Maybe you've just been hiring the dumbest people for way too long due to, like, I don't know, things like diversity quotas and whatnot. And your infrastructure is just run by retards. I think that's probably a better possibility than the CIA sabotaging things or China infiltrating our country. I think the main infiltration is from within, where our institutions of higher learning and even just basic public education have subverted ourselves by just producing really stupid people that are then shoved to the front of the line for things like positions in management. So I'm just gonna go with that. That's my take. That's what I think is happening. I don't think it's a big conspiracy. I think America's just stupid. Stover, good to have you, bud. What's your take on all this sabotage stuff?
Well, I heard an interesting theory the other day that at least like with as far as sabotage with like all of the things blowing up and getting derailed and
Yeah,
chemical
those
explosions.
things.
I heard, what if, because I mean, we do have an open border. Pretty much you just come in.
Ah, you're
I've
saying it's
heard,
the Mexicans.
no, I think maybe there's Russians who came in through Mexico and they're getting payback for Biden destroying the Nord Stream pipeline.
Okay, so what you're saying is the Russians, foreseeing the destruction of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, have snuck in from the southern border, got jobs in the human resources department and all these major companies, and then started hiring the worst people for the job. That's what you're thinking? That's what you're saying?
I mean, anything's possible. I think everyone, all the conspiracies are real. We pretty much any conspiracy I hear, I'm like, I'm not going to be surprised when that turns out to be the case. So that's the one that I heard recently, and I'm like, well, that
I'm
would
gonna
make
make
sense. I
I'm
mean,
gonna make my theory the popular one in the cultural zeitgeist. So tonight, you heard
okay.
it here first, folks. Trainee diversity hires are what's to blame for America's crumbling infrastructure, and and these massive mass casualty events and total destruction of these railways and uh, giant factories and the food processing plants. The food processing plants are just illiterate people that can't type the right thing into the fire alarm systems, and so that's why they explode. I blame stupidity in America more than I blame the CIA or foreign nationals sneaking in or just foreign governments in general. I think that that's the new hot take. Stover, do you think you think that could catch on? I think it's likely that it's actually the case and should catch on.
There you have it. That's
You know,
that's
to,
the new narrative.
to kind of prove my point, let me give you all. Let me pop this up real quick. Stover, you sent me this just as a sign of the stupidity of the United States. This is called the slap competition. This is American entertainment. This is only like, I don't know, this is only 2 degrees of separation away from the movie Idiocracy, where entire shows were dedicated to a guy getting kicked in the balls. That's exactly what you're watching. The decline
Ouch,
of
my
American
balls.
society. Yeah, ouch my balls.
Ouch, my balls was the name of that one.
Yeah, for right now,
And it's on TBS. It's on TBS.
yeah, they're slapping each other's faces, and pretty soon they're just gonna be slapping each other's dangling ball sacks. That's where we're getting. And
Oh, yeah.
it'll be here's where Idiocracy got it wrong. When that show does come to prominence, and that's the #1 show in the country, slapping people's balls. One misstep I think that Mike Judge, the creator of Idiocracy, made was that the balls getting slapped will belong to a woman. Let's watch this clip.
1, 2.
That's my favorite.
She threw in a little trick at the end. I don't see myself ever watching a show like that. Personally, I'm just not a fan of things of that nature because this is like just a promotion of raw violence in a sanctioned forum, right? I prefer just to watch videos on LiveLeak of, well, I don't know if y'all know what's on LiveLeak, but it's like shootings, hurricanes, tornadoes, street fights. I like the rawness of that. I can't see myself tuning into anything. Well, first of all, anything with commercials. If it's got commercials, I'm not watching it. And Stover, you said this was on TBS, so I assume there's commercials.
Yeah, it actually had the icon on there. Yeah, I'm assuming there's commercials, and I support it. I mean, it's better than some of the crap we've got out there, you know?
Yeah, but that's such a low bar, I think. Let's go to the next video. Again, this one is obviously from Twitter. It's just easier to look things up on Twitter, but can you preface this video for us? You sent it in, and I was wondering if you can explain what it's about. It's this one here.
Oh,
Wait, I think it's still.
Yeah,
hold on. It's still playing.
Big boys, baby.
It's still playing the slap audio. Hang on, let me fix that real quick.
it kind of worked.
Yeah, it's like when you. This is the form you should see people getting slapped in.
So they've convinced a 12-year-old boy that not only is, does he know what his sexual orientation is? It's not what he was born with. But also he's invisible and he doesn't exist.
Now, are you being
because
serious
reasons.
right now? Or are you just because I actually have to ask these questions? This person, this child, thinks all those things in real life. You're not being hyperbolic.
The parent and whoever, whatever his other handlers have convinced him that no one sees him and that he's embarrassed. So he's up there.
Is Russian
in front of
handlers?
A bunch of, yeah, yeah, is Russian tranny handlers because they had to flee Russia.
Yeah.
They've convinced him that no one sees him. He's invisible. He doesn't matter. But here's all these people listening to him talk on the microphone about.
Well, his
being
voice
not
isn't invisible.
Yeah. And
Now,
I
is
can
it a
see his
boy
green
or a
hair.
girl?
I'm assuming, given the subject, in the fact that they look like they're trying to go for a female thing, I would assume this was a little girl if I saw them on the street, and they're talking about being transgender. So I'm assuming it's a boy, a boy.
Okay, let's roll it.
My name's Lola Smith. I'm 12 years old and I'm non-binary.
Okay, the kid's already just a total loss. I'm sorry. The
Yep.
kid's already a total
12.
loss.
Were you even? I wasn't even interested in girls yet. At 12,
I
was
was
still playing with
interested,
action
but I
figures.
wasn't going to do anything about my interest at that age. I didn't do
Well,
it. I
yeah,
didn't lose
but-
my virginity until I was 27.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I relate to this kid because I felt invisible sometimes.
Well, when I was 12, I mean, I wasn't worried about. I don't know. It wasn't a concept that I knew about. If I had a girlfriend, it consisted mainly of just writing notes and secretly handing them to
Yeah,
them
yeah.
and never actually talking. Yeah.
Yeah, and at that age, you were still interested in the things that come before girls: marijuana, red dog, 40 ounces from the Plank Road Brewery, things like that. That was my 12-year-old life, and maybe that's why I wasn't interested in girls till later. I had drugs and alcohol, which I'm not advocating, but it was fun. All right, let's see how much further we can make it into this.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that most folk here haven't been 12 in quite some time. I bet you remember a little bit of it though.
I think this idiot thinks its tongue is invisible because without these captions, I would have no idea what this. Let me be polite. I would have no idea what this misled child is even saying.
Everyone has an
what
embarrassing
I'm-
story from when they were my age. A memory from youth that haunts them into adulthood. Maybe you were pantsed in front of your class or spilled a drink on your crush. I too have one of those moments. A defining, embarrassing moment that I will carry with me through life. But you see, the most embarrassing moment of my life is happening right now. As I stand in front of a
More than you know, son. More than you know. Oh, this poor child. And also, he touched on something that I found interesting when he was reporting on childhood trauma and the detriment that causes. And I was like, yeah, I don't know one person that type of stuff didn't happen to. Like, everybody's got at least one of those crazy scenarios when you were a kid where you like shit your pants or you had a boner at the worst time or something like that. I mean, it happens. But you can tell that somebody is indoctrinating this child with this idea of victimhood, and then that victimhood mentality manifesting itself in these, let's be honest, like satanic demon ways. And I think if I was this child's parent, and I'm just being totally honest now, I think if I was this child's parent, I would be more worried about his terrible fucking speech impediment more than convincing him that he's an invisible girl. And if this invisible girl was invisible, why would he need to put on any makeup, dress like that, color its hair? It's invisible. It shouldn't matter, right?
Right. Well, I think, and I was thinking about the lisp. I'm like, is that from, is that just another symptom of the ongoing abuse at home, or is it is that the kind of, oh well, I hear all these older gays, like maybe I need to kind of talk that way.
I think that it's probably just one of those naturally occurring lisps that happen for whatever like developmental brain reason. Because I mean, correct. I don't know enough about any of this shit, but I'm thinking since this boy's been convinced that he's a girl, I think that there's a difference between the way male to female transsexuals speak versus the way overtly queer homosexual men talk. The super over the top, because women don't even talk like this. It's just their own fucking like super gay way of talking and shit. Which, by the way,
You do that good.
I know it's because I'm gay. It's really funny when not funny. It's interesting because I know a couple people from my childhood that I grew up with that like didn't come out as gay until like early 20s, and then when they talk, it's the super out in the lisp in there and stuff, and you go, hey Ricky, I know that you didn't always talk like that. So it is a manufactured thing, and I don't think anybody's ever defined the reason that they do that, but it's a put on, and I think it's like a little bit like an attention grabbing thing. Like, go ahead.
Maybe it was like, this is a theory, but like how back in the day when it was like kind of the broke back era where you'd like go to a truck stop bathroom, tap your foot 3 times and like go have gay sex. Maybe the list was kind of like a secret, hey, what's up? You gay too? If not, no, me neither. Like,
right. It's like
kind
its
of
own
like a subtle.
Yeah. Like back when it probably started, like most people didn't pick up on it. They just thought somebody talked odd. So like when you met somebody in a bar and you're like, "Hey, sailor," they'd be like,
I want to wear your ass like a hat. And you're like, maybe he's gay.
I want to get balls deep in your anus. It's like, I think that person might be a homosexual.
I thought he might be gay when he ordered 2 sexy alligator shots.
What? That's a real drink, isn't it? An alligator
when I was a
shot.
bartender, I had a gay guy come up to me, and he's like, "I'll have 2 sexy alligators." Like that's a drink that I've made. And I'm like, "What's in it?"
And he goes, "Oh, it's easy. It's a cock in my mouth." Like that doesn't even make sense.
It had like fucking 100 ingredients, and all of them were the shitty cordials that have like 0.03 alcohol. And I charged him like $20 a shot because it pissed me off.
Yeah, and plus, like acquiring semen is probably pretty expensive. Put in that shot. All right, let's try and keep going with this. Here we go.
Strangers and publicly beg for my right to exist. Nothing is more humiliating and dehumanizing than pleading for one's own existence. How did we get here?
No, you're right. You're right, Stover. That's a put on like gay lisp. Like he's not even good at it. Like he's not even good at feigning that yet. So yeah, it's a learned behavior.
I just think it's so weird. Like he's up there like, I took a bus all the way here. It took me all day, and I prepared this speech. And isn't it sad I have to be here asking to exist? And everyone's, I would be offended if I was one of those people in that room. But they're all like, "Oh, stunning and brave."
I think this little asshole was offended when he got on the bus, and the bus driver goes, "Bus fare, please." And then this fucking little jerk that's been encouraged by a bunch of retard adults was like, "You can't theme me. I'm invisible. I'm invisible. You can't theme me."
It does seem like one of those things. It's like next they're going to be complaining because they are seen. They want to be able to pick and choose when they're invisible and when they're seen. Right now he wants. Look at the outfit.
I would love if these fucking people, young, old, whatever, would all just universally agree to be invisible so we can stop fucking acting like we have to acknowledge them. It's the most... This shit is all about fucking attention. I mean, there's definitely more to it, like, cultural subversion and the destruction of your nation. But just this, like, push to force you to acknowledge their nonsense is probably the most frustrating part of it all. And you're not allowed to like comment or have an opinion or anything. You just have to notice and be proud and very, very happy for them. All right, let's keep going.
Growing up in conservative Florida, I am used to not being understood or represented or even liked. But how did we get here?
Good.
The point where we are trying to eradicate us. History.
Oh, if you only fucking... I wish that were true. I'm sorry. I wish that were true. Can I say that on YouTube? Talking about trying to eradicate us. I mean...
Yes, you can say that.
I mean, thank you. This is going to sound harsh, but I don't think it's harsh at all. It's like these people and their minions, which isn't a lot, but they're trying to eradicate you. Straight white male, straight black male, straight married couple. They're trying to eradicate you, and they're trying to eradicate your children, and this is a good example of it. So yeah, I don't think we're too far from people acknowledging, if only to themselves in private, yeah, I kind of do want these fucking people eradicated. And I'm not saying that's my opinion, but I'm not saying it's not.
History class has warned us. If you let them hate you, eventually they'll try to erase you. We should have listened.
She's talking about erasing and she fucking claims to be invisible.
I should be in history class right now, but instead I had to ride for hours on a bus to come here.
Yeah, I wish she was in like, I wish she was learning about a period in history where she would have been, he would have been thrown off a cliff and his parents would have been imprisoned.
Here and beg you all to let me exist. Take a moment to look around. We are really in a boardroom discussing an entire population's right to exist.
This, by the way, this asshole didn't write this. If y'all didn't notice, this person is too stupid to have written this on their own.
We shouldn't be here. We are better than this. America is better than this. Florida could.
Did you see the old guy in the pink? He was just about to start clapping and he's like, nah, I don't think we are. I don't think we are better than this.
He feels upstaged with the outfit. He's like, man, I thought I was pushing the envelope with this pink shirt, but
Yeah.
fuck, look at this get up.
Like, watch him. He leans forward like he's going to start clapping with, you know, all the fat single mothers that caused this. And then he's like, actually, hold on. Like, watch.
Better than this.
Lean
Florida
forward to clap.
could.
His hands move, and then he's like, I'm just
couldn't
going to
even-
leave him here.
He couldn't even, he's like, I'm not even going to lift my hands. That's, nah.
You saw his hands move, though. He was like,
He's like,
no.
eh.
Why
Fuck
am
it.
I here? I'm
Look
supporting
at all
my...
these women behind her. I think that like this is the problem. Like right behind the kid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these 7 women are just staring with such pride, and I don't think it's pride for the kid. It's
It's
they're
their
proud of
own
themselves.
attention. It's their own attention.
Yeah, they're
like,
there.
we did this.
They're like, we
now,
did it.
I'm going to show you right now a little clip of the actual problem with society, like where this all began. And you're going to be surprised by this, but I want you to think about it. Notice this retard asshole face right here. Recording from a terrible angle because she's incapable of being in the moment because social media is more important than what's actually happening. Knowing that this whole fucking meeting is being recorded. Don't you hate those people? Don't you hate those people
wants
that
to
go
get
to like
on-
live shows and events and hold up a fucking iPad in front of their face to record somebody on stage and you're like, you know they're going to put out a DVD, right? But they don't do it
Right.
to have that footage. They do it to have that footage to put online to say, hey, acknowledge what I did. That's what
Yeah.
happened. You want to know what happened to society? It's this stupid asshole holding the camera right there. That's what happened. It didn't become about the truth. It didn't become about what needs to be seen and shown. It became, hey, look at what I'm doing. Acknowledge me. And kind of make me feel like I'm doing something. When in reality, you're just holding a camera like a stupid asshole when there's a professional camera setup and recording setup. But you keep holding your phone and thinking that one doesn't have anything to do with the other. They push these children into this for their own popularity and attention. That's what you have to realize. So there's the example. Go ahead, Stover. You're trying to say something.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you. But I do think, isn't it weird? I wonder, I bet this kid doesn't have any siblings. It seems to be a single mother, single child thing. I mean, I'm sure there's anomalies, but usually I'm like, it's a woman who got knocked up, no dad, and she's like, fuck, I wanted a daughter, and that's what you get.
That's what you get. Hey, we got breaking news coming in, and let me load this up on the board. But I do want to get back to this. But we have another mass shooting just coming in.
Jesus.
Let me pull this up, and because I feel like this needs to be acknowledged. Let me pull up this article.
Beautiful.
Come on. Here we go. Pull that up real quick. Okay. 4 people shot in Orlando. Now, this is I'm going to get in trouble for this because I'll be taken out of context. But this is my favorite part about the reveal is for the longest time, a certain demographic of society loved to tout that all these mass shootings in the United States were all committed by Crazy white folk. Crazy white folk. I can't think of the last white mass shooting there was. I think it was the one where the guy went into the grocery store. I don't even remember the town now. That's how long ago that was. And it wasn't a real long time ago, but there's so many mass shootings now. But the last few have been like 3 Asian people. And there was the black guy at the University of Michigan. And now you have 4 people shot in Orlando near a crime scene. So, a news crew member and a 9-year-old killed. Huh. And that's not a crazy white guy. So that narrative's falling apart too. Maybe we could all, I don't know, like unite against mass shootings, or we can just keep blaming races for it. But you're not going to be able to keep blaming exclusively white people for it anymore. So that's something you should think about. I'm not going to read the story. Just know that is the story from 12 News. And now I want to get back to so that was our breaking news. I need to get a breaking news button again. But thank you for sending that in, intern. And let's get back to this. Because this infuriates me more than mass shootings.
And should be better than this. Politicians are using kids like me to get votes from people who hate us. You can stop
Ironic.
this. I'm a proud person. I usually respond with people telling me what I can't do with just watch me. But this isn't just about me.
Just
This is
watch
about
me
my
become
transit
invisible.
non-binary peers. That couldn't be.
Wait, yeah, I'm
They don't have this
confused.
as voice.
When people tell you things, do they see you? Are you invisible while they're telling you things? That's weird.
Yeah, how do you know they're talking to you? Sometimes I feel like when people are talking about me, they're just looking right through me and not seeing me as a person. That could have something to do with my identity, though.
I just think it's so funny. It's like clearly this kid needs like some one-on-one treatment with like a, you know, an experienced psychologist, but instead they're like, let's put this kid on a stage and push a narrative.
Well, I feel like traditionally or a long time ago, I would have agreed with you, but I kind of feel like the mental health community might be involved in this just a smidge, just saying, because that's the same mental health community of doctors and therapists and counselors and psychotherapists and psychologists that are all saying, hey, you remember how in all of our manuals about mental illness, they're called the DSM manuals, they said, hey, being invisible isn't a mental illness anymore. That's just normal now. Accept it. And that's people still like look at that industry, the mental health industry, as a legitimate industry. It's the dumbest industry that there is. And it's all about money, and it's also about this weird psychological and cultural subversion of children now, because this unfortunate asshole you're looking at on the screen, I'm sorry to call this young man that, but this kid's a fucking patsy. And I guarantee not one shrink is going to come out and say, hey, you know that 12-year-old boy who thinks he's a girl and thinks he's invisible and is being used as a political pawn in some sick and sadistic game? There's nothing wrong with that child, and we shouldn't point anything out to that child as being wrong or try to say, hey, this actually isn't normal. This actually isn't something that the mental health community endorses or stands by. But they don't do that. No, instead they stand up and defend this behavior as being normal and not mentally ill at all. So I actually blame a lot of this on the mental health industry, and I feel like they're responsible for so much of this. If not encouraging it, then they definitely don't speak out against it, and I find that odd.
I kind of feel invisible, but you don't hear me, like we don't have any representation, just being straight white men, but you don't hear us complaining.
I complain all the time about being invisible. There's only like 3 people watching this show right now, and I feel like it's good. All right, here we go.
I am so blessed to have.
So blessed.
I'm here today with at least 30 supportive adults that love me. But there are kids feeling scared.
Oh, they love you more than you know, those 30 supportive adults. They love you more than you know.
And alone right now, waiting to hear.
Yeah.
So those 30 people can see you.
They don't know that I'm here, but I can feel their love.
I just feel like the whole I'm invisible, how dare you guys make me have to skip class to come and bitch about
Yeah, nobody
things.
knows you're skipping class.
It's just the weirdest.
You're still
flat.
there.
It's like no one made you make decisions,
Oh.
especially if you're invisible.
I think a lot of people made this child make decisions that they
Well,
shouldn't
whoever
have.
wrote this letter made the child. Yeah,
Well, yeah, because
Needs to be in jail.
it's not this retard's letter. Yeah, I said it.
I'm saying I see you. So like social services needs to see you and get involved quickly.
No, social services is gonna be like giving out fucking candy to his parents, like as a little treat for doing the right thing.
To see if their identity are going to be erased. You have the power to stop this. So I will humble myself, and I will set aside all of my pride. And on behalf of those scared kids, I will beg you, please, 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 let us exist. Thank you.
Yeah, no. How about no?
Oh,
How about
Lord.
no? And how about hopefully this is in Florida, which is supposed to be based. I'm going to disagree with that. Hopefully the politicians that he's speaking to, whatever event this is, I don't even know. Go. Thanks, you future suicide statistic, for just reaffirming that this is the most twisted shit I've probably ever been exposed to as a politician, and I've voted for wars and mass killings and all that shit. And you young man, really make me question the direction of this nation for the first time ever. So yeah, I'm actually glad that this 12-year-old boy who thinks he's an invisible girl got up there and did that, because although everybody in the audience is clapping, that's like this weird modern subterfuge hiding the rage from the majority of the country, vast majority of the country, watching that and going, they're trying to do that to all of our children. And they don't need all of them, but they're going to get a lot of them. And again, it just unfortunately goes back to like, everybody knows that this needs to be stopped, along with a lot of other things that need to be stopped in this country. But with a very vengeful and vindictive Department of Justice and Federal Bureau of Investigation, just all kinds of federal law enforcement agencies, just waiting for anybody to stand up against this and point out how it's wrong and try to, for lack of a better term, like rally the troops to try to put a stop to this. Nothing happens. The cultural subversion will continue. This will spread, and mark my words on this, and this will be kind of my final thought on this entire thing. The suicide statistics in this country for young people are going to fucking explode. They probably already are. I haven't looked into it. They probably already are. But when you compound this poverty culture, stagnating wage culture, no direction culture, when you have all this toxic soup of no hope for the future, and then you throw in the transgenderism and the misdiagnosis of identity onto these young people in their extremely delicate formative years, you're going to notice a mass suicide, the likes of which you've never seen in the coming decade. And when that happens, they're going to start going, well, what caused this? What caused it? It must be racism. It must be Russia. And they're never going to acknowledge that they encouraged and promoted not only the mutilation, exploitation, rape, pedophilia, all this stuff against your children. Not only did they peddle that, they fought normal people on it the entire way and said, y'all are the crazy ones. Y'all are the crazy ones. Y'all are the crazy ones. Well, you're going to watch this pan out, because the next step, now that I think about it, when these suicides start happening in mass to these young people, they're going to go, well, suicide's not a side of mental illness.
On that vein, Contra84 says in the Rumble live chat,
Thanks
that
for
kid's
stopping
on
by.
his way to being a future serial killer.
No,
So, yeah.
no, I disagree. That kid's on the way to taking too many pills that will be easily available to him, despite him not needing the pills because he's not mentally ill. But that kid's going to take a massive dose of benzodiazepines and just zonk out before he's 18 probably. And that's like the saddest part about this is like, like it's perceived as uncouth to make jokes about these things, but like that's kind of all we can do is I'm not going to be that guy that gets up here and starts screaming and going, this is wrong and this needs to stop now, blah, blah, blah. I've already accepted that society's moving this direction and you're not turning it around. You have to let this happen. And a lot of people are going to be turned off by me saying that. But just let me assure you, there's nothing you or I could do to stop this. It has to run its course. I'm sorry. It's not what you want to hear, but I've never claimed to have a plan. Much like, or unlike a lot of these other people who go, oh, well, vote for this person and you'll stop it. No, that's not how it works. Welcome to America, 2023.
And it's sad, like you think back to like failed experiments, such as like prohibition.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of many situations where the U.S. government, for whatever reason, said, oh, this is the new standard. This is the new rule. And then they go, oh, we were wrong.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything?
No. And to kind of like tack on to what you're talking about, yeah, let's think of all the great ideas that the United States government has had and claimed is going to be beneficial to the country. Let's look at the post-1964, 1965 immigration policy. Oh, that worked out so well for us, didn't it? What about all those wars we needed to fight? Remember all those wars we had to fight because it's going to better the country? Yeah, that didn't work out too well either. Oh, what about public education? What about spending more money on public education than any other industrialized nation and any other nation in the world, probably combined? We probably spend more money on education. Meanwhile, you see a video every day of essentially riots in school, deteriorating race relations, everything the government has touched, it has ruined, and it's done it quickly. And now they're, for lack of a better term, touching your kids. And with that, we're out of here, folks. Don't forget, we have people in prison over these culture wars. That would be Nicholas Oakes and Nick DiCarlo. Let me just pause that. Here's their Give, Send, Goes. Our guys are adjusting okay in prison. They just need a little help. If you can donate small amounts to their Give, Send, Go, that would be great. It would be awesome if you tell your friends and everybody could give something like $5 or something. Just give hell, give $1 if you can. But don't worry about making these big donations or anything like that. We need a lot of small donations over time. We feel like is the better way to do this on a long-term scale. And it's going to be a long-term. They're in there for years. 4 years actually was their sentence. So if y'all can, please donate to our guys from this network, Murder the Media, that were victims of political persecution from January 6th. And also speaking about that, we're coming up with new things to do. Y'all don't have to watch this show, these shows that we're doing every day. We appreciate that you do. But when we do some big fundraisers that we're planning on, there'll be big charity shows. We're talking about doing raffles and things of that nature. Please have your friends come watch and everything so we can really make some money for our guys. And we won't do this all the time. We won't do it often enough to where you just get tired of it. It'll be spaced out. It'll be done with class and panache. Stover, before we go, was there anything else?
Yeah, I wanted your comments on one quick article, and we'll end it with this. You sent me this earlier, and I thought it was. I wanted to hear your commentary on it.
My commentary is yes, I would. Would
Taylor business. Wisconsin woman decapitates lover.
Yes.
What do you say?
So if y'all go to this heavy article, this woman's name isn't even Shabusiness. I guess that was some sort of cute, playful name between her and her boyfriend and father of her child or husband or something, who's in prison right now. But yeah, this Taylor Shabusiness, I'll make this big. really did some gruesome shit to her methamphetamine sex partner. In other words, she strangled him to death and then cut off his head and his genitals. Oh, and she kept having sex with him the entire time after he was dead until she eventually dismembered his body and found part of it. The guy's mother, that they were having sex in the mom's basement. Big shocker there. The guy's mother discovered her son's head in a 5-gallon bucket. Sorry, this is a little graphic for this show, but and then the cops went over to her house, and she had other body parts of this brave young man in her van in a crock pot or a crock pot box. And
Is this the guy?
that's the guy. Yeah.
Well,
that was. I think he looks a little different now. He really couldn't keep his shit together. Dismemberment joke. Can you play?
on, man. Bitch-
can you play that
Just
video?
running wild.
She's in the news right
one
now.
right
She's in the news right now, not for fighting, or not for dismembering the corpse she was having sex with that she murdered. She's in the news now, believe it or not, because she struck her defense attorney. That's what made the news. Not the murder. Jeez, she really puts up a fight. Huh. Oh, she doesn't look as hot there.
Yeah, they picked a good photo. There she is.
I like how, okay, the other thing I thought was funny about this video when I watched it was this guy, the guy that she cut his head off and then still had sex with him, couldn't fight her off. But when she tried to attack her her defense attorney is just some old guy. He goes like this, like you should to anybody should be able to do to a woman. Get off me, bitch.
Get off.
So yeah.
Oh man, I mean, she is a feisty one.
That's just one guy, and he's just like, let me just lay on you, get her tuckered out.
Yeah. She's all tuckered out. The struggle goes on. I mean, yeah.
Hey, pull it. Hey, take his gun out and shoot this fucking whack job in the face. Just be done with it. Or at least taser her to make a good video. Look,
Yeah.
Oh boy. Ugh, she got a little fat in prison
boy.
too. All right. I'm out of here. Stovey's out of here. We're out of here. We'll see y'all later. Donate to the Gives to Go. We'll see y'all on Friday at 7 o'clock unless something goes wrong. And bye-bye.